as a first felony offender. Offense: indecent behavior with a juvenile under 13 years old. Sentencing date: May 17, 2017. Sentenced to a total of 10 years. Parole date: February 12, 2018. Good time: not eligible. Full term: October 13, 2024. Is this information correct?
Does that information sound correct? to
Yes,
you?
sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
How you doing this morning?
I'm all right.
Okay. I've been assigned your case, so I'll be asking you some questions on behalf of the board this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you 70 years old, Mr. Jones?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how much time have you served so far?
Oh, about 4, 5, maybe.
Okay. This involved a sex offense with your 9-year-old granddaughter, is that correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you had a trial,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
ma'am.
you were found guilty of that at the trial, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you received a sentence of 10 years.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us anything about what happened with your granddaughter?
Nothing more than just that night. If you talk about that night, and
Yes.
talk about any time.
Well, I mean,
Nothing.
what did you do that was inappropriate with your granddaughter?
They said I taught her in a.
I don't want to know what they say. I want to know what you say.
Okay. Well, I taught her.
You mean touched her?
Yes, sir.
All right. And she was about 9 years old?
Yes.
Did you have another incident in another state where you were charged in Tulsa? It's like in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Did you have a case in Tulsa?
Yeah, I had a case. I had a case that I wasn't charged with. I
understand they ended up not prosecuting you for it, but you were also accused in that case of first-degree rape, and the person was a juvenile, and that person was also a family member. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
No,
Wasn't a family.
I don't remember that. No.
Okay. You don't ever remember being accused of a rape of a juvenile family member when you lived in Tulsa?
No.
I'm not saying you necessarily got prosecuted for it, but do you ever remember it coming up or you being accused of it?
No.
Have you taken any sex offender classes, Mr.
Yes.
Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me about that. When did you take those classes?
I just finished class Thursday, that Friday.
Okay.
You know, I've been taking classes now to finish the course that I need in order to take this test here.
Okay. Did you complete the whole sex offender program, or are you still in the sex offender?
I finished part of it. The man said that I fit enough to complete the test. Now we probably had 4. I had one section of it.
So it's 4 sections?
It was
Okay, it's 4 sections of it?
No, Just one section.
Now, that's how many you took, but how many are there altogether?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you read and write, Mr. Jones?
A little bit
How far did you go in school?
as well. 12.
You graduated?
Yes.
And what kind of work did you do?
I was a laborer at a plumbing company.
All right. And you have a job in the prison?
I have a job with my brother.
No, in the jail. Do you
Oh,
have?
no.
You don't do anything in the jail?
No.
Why not?
I got sick and they took me, I guess they took me off to work for, I hadn't worked any this year, but I worked the last year that I came into it.
Okay, and you, what did you get sick with?
Pneumonia, not pneumonia, but I paralyzed.
Okay, but you can walk now?
Yes, I walk.
Well, if you were to get out, where would you live?
With my brother.
And where does your brother live?
He stayed in a house and I stayed in the one behind him.
I know, but where is the house, Mr.
Kingston
Jones?
Road. Kingston Road,
Kingston Road?
yes.
And where is that?
That's in Shreveport.
All right. And when you applied for today, you didn't put on there where you plan to live.
Yes, I planted
How do you know you can live with your brother?
through from my brother. He's supposed to be here that day with all the information. I planted a deal in a house my brother had that he moved that he had in back his house.
All right. And how are you going to support yourself? How are you going to have money to live? You're
I'm gonna help my
70.
brother. I'm gonna help my brother.
Help him do
He
what?
he do mechanic work on cars,
Mm-hmm.
like interior work. He fixes up interior and he just things like that. Work on churches.
And are you physically able to do that, Mr. Jones?
I know how to, yes.
Well, is your health good enough for you to be able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
When's the last time you had a write-up?
I hadn't.
What'd you say?
I hadn't. I
In the
hadn't
whole
had,
in the whole 5 or 6 years, you've never had any write-ups?
no.
Okay. All right, Warren, is there anything you can tell us about Mr. Jones? And does your record show anything about his sex offender treatment?
No.
He's in, I have a letter here from the social worker. He's currently in the sex offender treatment program. He started it, April of 2018, so he's still he's still completing it. He came to Hunt, January of 18. He hasn't had any write-ups. I know that he is a step down out of our mental health program also.
What does that mean?
He was in our Hunt special unit.
Yes.
And he, I guess through therapy and whatever, he's now stepped down mental health in our mental health step down dorm.
Okay, what is the step down dorm? I don't know what that is.
Well, he's not acute anymore.
Okay, but he was diagnosed with having mental illness?
evidently, if he was in that dorm, I don't have any information in the file on that.
All right. And I take it you haven't had a lot of experience or contact with Mr. Jones, so you just know what's in the file, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Let me see if security did a report, positive attitude, good work ethic. I mean, he just hasn't been in any trouble since he's been here. No write-ups, and security says he's, good conduct.
Warden, excuse me,
Yeah.
there's an indication of a detainer. Is that detainer active in this, that you're seeing in this file? It shows out of state, but the rest look like it's a DeSoto Parish matter, so I don't know.
We're looking right now.
Is out of Texas.
Hmm.
Out of state, it was still active. Last update was 6/9/17.
Yes, ma'am.
It's to Texas?
And it says, Panola, Colorado will extradite.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jones, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, there are no further questions of you. I don't see an indication that you have any participants today. What do you want to tell us before we vote?
They're supposed to come, they're supposed to be here today, my brother and my sister, they were supposed to be here today. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
have any comments you want to make to the board?
Yes, I'd like to apologize for what I did, and I really disappointed about my brother not showing up. He was supposed to be here. He was supposed to be right here with all my paperwork and everything, but he didn't show today for some reason. I don't know. Could be car or anything could happen, but I'm surprised about. I'm real sorry about what happened.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes. All right, Mr. Jones, you're classified as a first offender.
You know,
There is an indication of a previous incident that happened in Tulsa, but you said you don't really know much about that. You haven't had any write-ups, and when I looked at the statement from your daughter, the mother of your granddaughter,
yeah.
they didn't respond for this hearing, but in the previous hearing, they indicated that they were not opposed to your being released early and that your granddaughter seems to be doing well. This incident that occurred doesn't seem to have set her back very much, and so I'm glad to hear that she's doing well.
Yeah.
I am concerned that you haven't completed all phases of the sex offender treatment, and I don't know whether or not your residence plan will be approved, because if you're a sex offender, there's certain places you can't live. If you're close to a school or a park or other facilities, you might not be able to live with your brother, and I'm not sure that everything has been put in place. And you do have a detainer on you from Texas. Do you know anything about why you would be wanted in Texas?
My brother called me and told me about that. It's an incident that happened with a guy that worked for. We picked up stuff in somebody's yard. We thought it was something you could sell.
Okay,
But
so you
it
picked
was
up something
stolen.
that you thought was scrap.
Yeah, it was old and he stole it. He let us know about it. And That's the thing. And when I'm in jail, I stayed in jail for months before they even see me. And then they got me born out, got it all set, and I wanted out. The judge, I mean, the guy that wanted me out told me that if I don't complain, don't worry about it. If anything happened, he would call. And that's been 5 years ago. So I heard from him.
Mhm.
All right. Well, Mr. Jones, you know, when I look at your age and I look at just your general overall health, I don't see that you're pose much of a risk. So my vote today would be to give you a chance. However, you would have to have your residence plan approved.
Yes.
And, you know, you might end up being taken to Texas.
Yes,
But my vote today would be to grant your early release based on your age, based on the lack of opposition from your granddaughter and your daughter, who's the child's mother. And I would grant, subject to approval of your residence plan. So my vote today is to grant if your residence plan is approved.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Marabella?
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
I'm finished.
I do have one question, and that is, did you bond out when you were arrested for these charges, or did you stay in jail from the time you were arrested?
No, I'm going out of Texas.
No, I'm talking about these charges
Here.
here, because you told Judge Jackson that you'd been in jail about 5 years. My calculations show you've been in jail over 7 years, and that's why I'm asking you.
Well, maybe hell, I may be off with my you know, with my end, with the end time. It could have been tough.
I got it. It's not that important. I just wanted to
Yes.
put on the record the amount of time that you've served on your charge.
Yes, sir.
I agree. I agree with Judge Jackson. My vote is going to be the same with the same reasons. You may end up going to Texas, and you may have to alter your plan of where you're living. But good luck to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jones, at this point, you have 2 votes to grant. It is unfortunate your family wasn't able to make it today, but I concur with my colleagues. My vote is to grant for the reasons already stated on the record.
Yes.
The staff there explained to you what happened here today. Best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so what we just saw took place on 12/10/2021. We're about to watch a second hearing that takes place less than a month later, 1/5/2022. But before we do that, I just want to give you a little bit more context. The jury found him guilty doing this to his granddaughter as he slept. So she was 9 years old. She was sleeping, it says, by the way, and it's much worse than even this article says, and we'll go over the reports. Thank you, Richard. They convicted him, 65 years old, of the count of indecent behavior with a juvenile, also his granddaughter. Now, she was taken to the gingerbread house where she spoke to local children advocacy, and she received services. The assistant district attorney said in a statement that investigators discovered that he had a history of doing this to children that goes back 30 years. 30 years. 30 years. How many victims do you think he has? He's also, it says, a state probation violation and being an in-state and out-of-state fugitive. Okay. Now, a jury found him guilty. He went to court. He put his granddaughter on the stand, okay? A jury found him guilty, and still a judge said, oh, okay, 30-year history of doing this. You're a fugitive. It's your biological granddaughter. You didn't take a plea deal. You actually made us invest all this money into locking you up. 10 years sounds fair. What? Why? Why? Judge, why? And he gets paroled after serving like 5. I know there's some confusion in the times, but so yeah, the victim in this case was his granddaughter, 9 years old at the time of the offense. He was 65 years old. And by the way, it gets bad. So they had a trial. They had 6 witnesses testified, all called by the state. They had the victim's great aunt. They had sister testified. They had, they have BB and AJ. They said they spent nights at Jones with her and Jones and went to church with them on Sunday. AJ would sleep on the couch when she slept at night. On August 16, 2014, AJ and her brother spent the night at BB and Jones, and the children slept on separate couches in the living room. BB testified that during the night, AJ knocked on her bedroom door, woke her, and told her that her papa was trying to touch her. BB stated that AJ was shook up, and BB was concerned. BB left the bedroom and asked Jones what happened, to which he only shrugged his shoulders with no verbal reply. AJ slept with BB the rest of the night and went home to her mother, followed by a day of church. BB did not tell AJ's mother about the incident. AJ then testified and stated that she was in the 7th grade and her birthday is, she testified that her auntie, she identified as her auntie, but stated she calls her Nana. She further recalled the gingerbread house, talking with the lady there. A conversation was recorded where this remember she went to the gingerbread house and spoke to the social service woman. AJ confirmed that she watched the recording of the interview. The interview was played for the jury with no objection. The videotape was admitted in evidence. AJ's mother and SJ testified and corroborated that AJ often spent the night at BB's house. When AJ came home after church on August 17, 2014, she told her that Papa touched my, TT. SJ related that AJ referred to her as, SJ was present but in another room during the gingerbread house interview. She was asleep on the couch at BB's house when she felt something that woke her up, and she swatted at a hand that was touching her. AJ related to Filippo that when she looked around, Jones was hiding behind the couch. AJ told Filippo that she was wearing a dress and that Jones had touched her tutu on and inside of her underwear, since it was clear from AJ's reference to her underwear. Filippo did not. Shauna Thomas, who testified that Jones, whom she identified in court, had dated her mother about 30 years prior when she was 7 to 9 years old. Shauna testified that once during that time, while the family was watching a movie, Jones called her into the dark kitchen and made her perform oral on her. So this is another victim, is my understanding. Shauna further described instances where Jones would have her and her half-sister lie on a pallet on the floor with Shauna in the middle, and he would rub his between their legs. She could not recall how many times this happened, but stated that it happened quite often when her mother would go to work. Shauna testified that she did not tell anyone initially because Jones told her that he would kill her mother if she did. Eventually, when Shauna was 12 years old, she told the counselor at school, but asked her not to tell anyone. Shauna also told her father's girlfriend, but asked her not to tell anyone because she was afraid that Jones would hurt her father or that others would offer him. The record indicates that at the time of the trial, Jones was facing charges in Bossier Parish for offense against Shauna Thomas. So let's keep this straight. Let's be real about what we just read. he had done this to other little girls. They had reported it, yet he was still somehow out living with other little girls when he re-offended. How is that possible? How is that possible? When he was in trial, he was facing charges for this. And even with this knowledge, and with going to trial, and with finding him guilty, a judge still gave 10 years. Now, it was supposed to be served without probation, parole, or suspension of sentence, but I guess because of Act 122, he was allowed to get parole. Don't you love Act 122? Let's thank the Parole Project for that. Actually, this is something that's interesting. The sentence is not constitutionally excessive, and the trial court emphasized Jones' abused his position of trust and authority, fondled his 9-year-old granddaughter. Given Jones' lewd conduct and the evidence he has engaged in such deplorable conduct with at least one other minor child, the 10-year sentence imposed by the trial court does not shock the sense of justice, nor is it grossly disproportionate for the severity of the offense. This assignment of error is without merit. So in the appeal, they actually say, wait a minute, it's actually, I can't believe what the judge gave. And they say, now my understanding is, however, the sentence imposed by the trial court is illegally lenient. Do you see that? You know, Richard pointed this out to me, and that's why I'm happy I'm doing this again with the second hearing. It's illegally lenient. The judge gave an illegally lenient sentence. The trial court imposes sentence with 1 year to be served without benefits, however, requires that at least 2 years be served without benefits. This error is not automatically corrected because the penalty language statute gives the trial court discretion in determining exact length of benefit to be withheld. Accordingly, the sentence must be vacated and the case remanded to the trial for representing in compliance. The conclusion: for the aforementioned reasons, the conviction of Jesse Jones is affirmed and the sentence is vacated and remanded for resentencing. So my understanding is they said it was illegally lenient, but they still kept it at 10 years. They just changed some detail about when he's eligible. I'm a little confused. I'm sorry, because I thought he wasn't eligible for parole, but regardless, there you have it. I mean, a monster that does everything to warrant the book being thrown at him, and instead they actually give an illegal lenient sentence. But let's go see the second hearing. Let's see if there is karma in this world that will handle and protect our children.
Classified as a first felony offender. Offense: indecent behavior with a juvenile under 13 years old. Sentencing date: May 17, 2017. Sentenced to a total of 10 years. Parole date: February 12, 2018. Good time, not eligible. Full term, October 13, 2024. Is this information correct, sir?
Yes, yes, please.
Thank you. Mr. Marabello.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jones, my name is Tony Marabella. Your case has been assigned to me. You were initially granted a parole, looks like back in December of 2021. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we have since learned that you have a warrant for your arrest out of Bossier City for the charge of aggravated rape. Are you aware of that?
No,
Are you aware of any charges out of Bossier City for the
Mhm.
charge of aggravated rape?
no, no.
Have you ever lived in Bossier City?
Yes, yes, I have.
You have no explanation of why the police might have a warrant for your arrest for the charge of aggravated rape?
They must told, they must ask somebody that something I didn't. They didn't even do about no rape.
You don't know anything about that. Were you arrested in Bossier City at all, or were you questioned
sir.
by the police in Bossier City at
No,
all?
sir. No, sir.
Mr. Jones, it appears that I was one of the ones that voted to grant your parole back in December the 10th of 2021.
Yes,
I have to say, I'm very concerned about a warrant for the charge of aggravated rape when you were actually before us on an indecent behavior with a juvenile charge. And it's also alleged that you had some issues with a rape charge in, I believe it was, I forget where it was now, but in some other state.
Mr. Marabella, it was in
Yeah.
Mississippi.
In Mississippi, in Panola County, Mississippi.
no,
It's Texas.
no, sir.
Texas, okay,
Pinellas
Texas.
County, Texas.
It was no recharge.
There was also a warrant in Hancock County, Mississippi, I think as well, but yes. Mr. Jones, I'm very concerned about that. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have any other information other than the fact that we have information that they have a detainer on you.
But that choice involved you. I stayed in there 4 months.
So you know, you're aware of this charge.
Not in Bowie, sir, in Texas.
Okay, all right, all right.
And I wanted out of 4 months. I wanted out. My brother wanted me out, and they told me that if I don't use name on no time,
Now, you're not talking about Bossier Parish, you're talking about Texas.
yeah,
Correct, all right, okay. Well, I did mention Texas, and you're right.
yeah,
The concern I have today is about this Bossier City warrant that alleges aggravated rape, which is really the charges for which sex offenses that you were in prison for.
yeah. No, sir. I know did any time for rape on
Well,
my.
I understand that's, they're not saying you did any time. They're saying they have a warrant for your arrest and there's a detainer for you to be sent to Bossier City.
Oh. I didn't know about that until you told me that.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's really all I have. Ms. Wise, Mr. Roche, any questions?
Mr. Mayor, go ahead, Ms. White.
Mr. Jones, we just wanted you to know that when they were getting ready to release you, they did some checking, and then that's when they discovered the outstanding bench warrant out of Bossier Parish.
Yes.
And because of that, we're gonna take back the grant of parole. Well, my vote is gonna be to deny your parole and deny your parole in light of this new information, and wait until that gets resolved.
Yes,
And if you're eligible for a parole hearing again, they will schedule it. In the meantime, you just continue to conduct yourself in a good way, stay out of trouble and conduct yourself properly until this all gets worked out. And I hope that, you gather, some memory of what happened. all we know, it was like in 2015. That's all we know. The warrant is dated sometime in 2015. Our staff there, what are your records are showing on that warrant? I mean, the detainer, I'm sorry, and the warrant that supports the detainer.
This is Tatanisha White from the Records Department. Ms. Wise, we do show that he does have, from Bossier City Police Department, that the warrant was, a detainer is for them for an aggravated rape. And from my understanding, they did give them a call and they did say that he was wanted.
Okay. Do you have any idea of the date of the alleged offense? Do you have any information on that?
No, ma'am. Only thing I know is this came from the Records Department and from CPSO on August 11th, 2015.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Jones, not only did we get the paperwork, but a phone call was made and they verified that it is a warrant and they do want you on an aggravated rape charge. So I encourage you to notify your family and try to get how much help you can get in order to defend yourself against these allegations.
Yes,
But my
ma'am.
vote today is going to be to rescind your parole
Yes, ma'am.
that was granted.
Yes, ma'am.
Best wishes to you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Wise, for your explanation, making it more clear to me as well as Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, Mr. Roche, your vote, sir?
My vote is to deny because I'm rescinding the previous decision based upon an active warrant number 0115008897 issued by the Bossier City Police for aggravated rape.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, my vote is the same, to revoke for the same vote for the same reasons. As Ms. Wise pointed out, you need to get with your family and find out what those charges are about. Do you still have a lawyer?
No, sir. No.
Well, your family might be able to help you get a public defender in Bossier City that might be able to help you with that, okay?
Yes.
Good luck to you, sir.
All right.
Well, we already went through what it's about. It really only took a Google search or Richard bringing it to my attention. But remember, it's in the court records. It's in the court records. You can't make it up. Here, let's just get a reminder. In the court records. Record indicates that at the time of the trial, Jones was facing charges in Bossier Parish for offenses against Thomas. This is a repeat serial offender that has a track record of doing this for over 30 years. Texas even wants to extradite him. But could you imagine that a judge gave him 10 years? Why? And even this parole board said, I don't think you're a threat. Oh, God, we'll grant you parole. Now, again, it could be because he's going to Texas and he's expensive to house, and that they probably have this kind of mandate. If we can extradite to Texas, extradite them to Texas. But he's a serial monster. He's been doing this for 30 years. And the judge, after a trial, gave him 10 years. You got to explain it, but you can't because it makes no sense to anyone who can think rationally. With that, I'll let you go.